Auston.
I told you, it's part of my day. I got my new friend here. She agreed to be on. Hello everybody, it's Auston Holleman. And today I'm doing things a little different. The vlog today, and I'm gonna start doing this when the vlogs aren't pretty good. I'm gonna start doing a voiceover. The vlog, the girl I was supposed to go on a date with, the African chick, her friends ended up canceling. She needs to cut her friends off because that's the second time that they canceled 30 minutes before we were all supposed to hang out as a group. So not too much on that. But today I'm gonna have a talk with some people, people that may be interested in traveling, people that have not traveled yet to Asia. Guys, I've been in Asia a total of 14 weeks now. So I don't want to hear any BS about, oh, you haven't been there long enough to make an assessment. Guys, if it takes you 14 weeks to be aware of your surroundings, you probably need to stay in the United States of America, okay? Even 3 days. If it takes you longer than 3 days to know if you like somewhere or not, you need to figure out what's your judgment. Because I didn't like Bangkok at first when I first got there. But I was also only in Bangkok 6 hours. 6 hours I was in Bangkok, and I was like, I didn't like it. I came back, I stayed 3 days. I loved it. I still love it. So guys, it doesn't take forever, and it doesn't take an eternity to like somewhere, and you can't know right away if you like somewhere. I mean, I have before, but at least give it a full 3 days. Now, today I want to talk about, why do dudes come to Asia, either just to live or to date? I'm going to cover both aspects. And let me clarify something about Auston Holleman. Quit leaving comments, and this doesn't happen as much as it used to. Quit leaving comments saying, where's your wife? What is your purpose? What is your end goal with all this? I want y'all to remember this. I'll be 24 here in about 3 weeks. I'm not rushing my life right now. I'm no leader of even though a lot of people call me the leader, they want to identify me as a leader of the passport bros. That's cool. But let me let you know right now. I am no leader of a passport bros. I have never claimed that. If you ever see me claim that, send me a link and timestamp it. But as far as I know, I'm just a 24-year-old here in a couple of weeks that was once representing the passport bros. Now I have to disassociate myself because of the foolishness behavior, and it's getting thrown on me as if I'm a part of it. But we're not going to get into that. I'm just traveling and enjoying my life. And when I reach of age or maturity where I'm ready to get married, I'm going to do that. But in the meantime, mind your own business, watch the videos, take what you want from it, okay? If I tell you the women in these certain countries weren't easy to have a good time with, or they were kind of shy and mellow, and you prefer to chase a woman around and be Red Robin Hood, go over there and do that yourself. That's why I drop these videos, so you guys can have notes and know where you want to start traveling at. I'm traveling the world, not for nobody, but for my liking and my subscribers. That's it. Now, after my 14 weeks of being here in Asia, I can say the first reason, and we're going to start off with the positives of why I think dudes come here to Asia. I've been to 4 countries. I've been to Thailand, Philippines, Cambodia, and Vietnam. I'm going to say that Asia overall is more peaceful. As far as I know, in those 4 countries I've named, there's no huge drug cartel issue. You know, there's no huge crime issue. There's no civil unrest. Overall, these 4 countries are peaceful. Yes, that is an absolute fact. You can walk around you can go to the ATM in most of these countries at 1 o'clock in the morning and be just fine in most neighborhoods. Maybe in the Philippines, not so much. Maybe in Laos, not so much, even though I haven't been there. Cambodia, please don't do that. Cambodia, from my understanding, is a place that they have some issues there. Let's say that, and yeah, but overall, Southeast Asia so far is all I've been to. But these 4 countries are peaceful. Number 2, Asia is a place for older men to get younger women. No, I'm not having the old young debate. But in places like North America, South America, yes, you do have older men that date younger women, but it's not as accepted as it is in Asia. And I'm going to get into why I believe that is, or know that is. There is a large community of foreigners in these Asian countries. Asia is one of the most visited places, if not the most visited place. Actually, it is the most visited place because the most visited city in the world is Bangkok, Thailand, therefore making Asia the most visited continent in the world. Okay? So when you go to places like Pattaya, Phuket, Bangkok, Chiang Mai, there is a large community, especially if you're black in Pattaya, right? We all know each other around here. Everybody speaks to me. Everybody recognizes me from YouTube. And that goes to show you that there's a community that especially revolves around YouTube and Facebook groups that we all recognize each other through. And that is a very positive plus because you always have people that look alike with you. We bring our own problems with us. I've noticed a lot of problems. I mean, we got brothers out here with scarcity mindset. I've had women that I've had here in Pattaya with me. I've had suckers try to talk to the bitch right in front of me. So, you know, that kind of stuff happens, but that's stuff that problems that men bring from the United States with them. But another good plus of being in these Asian countries is it is a huge, huge opportunity to open up businesses such as real estate, you know, restaurants, you know, I guess weed dispensaries. I don't know all the statistics and logistics or whatever you want to call it, the details behind it, but I do know places like Cambodia and the Philippines and Vietnam and Thailand. I'm not making this up because there's a lot of especially here in Thailand. The Russians they're taking over Thailand. The Russians and the Chinese and then the black people last, we're building it up too. But we're not doing it nowhere near to the scale of the Chinese especially and the Russians. So that just goes to show you that even these foreigners are coming to places like Thailand and pricing out the locals, and it seems like taking their opportunities as well. Now, if you open up a place like a restaurant, I interviewed a guy that owns a Cajun Life Cafe in Pattaya, my favorite Cajun spot in all of Thailand. I think it's the only one in Pattaya. He said he has to share his business with two other Thai people. That is a downside, but hey, take it or leave it. That's because it doesn't seem like that's going to change anytime soon. Also, it's almost impossible for your business to not flourish. You got guys like me out here. This is my third time out here in less than a year. You got guys like Zoda Barber. You got guys like Zona Thailand, Chocolate Man of Thailand, and just this city alone, Travelversity, BMT. A group of YouTubers that will come and support your business if you open it up in this area of the world. Even if it's not a lot of us in Vietnam, but there's a YouTube community in Asia, and that's because Asia is one of the safest places in the world. It's not a lot of crime going on around here. And my last positive point is that the majority, and actually this isn't the last one, the majority of the women in these countries know how to cook and clean. There's a lot of dudes that travel that say that they want a submissive, traditional wife. In Asia, these aren't my words, these are quotes. I don't even know I read this somewhere a couple of times in a couple of different sources that in this part of the world, women have been always subservient to men, kind of like in the Middle East where they're subservient, where they're definitely not. Feminism is not going to hold as heavy as it does here in other places of the world. So women still are, they may not practice their traditional roles on a daily basis, you know, but what I'm saying is if you were to take one in, it's not unlikely that she'll be doing those traditional roles as taught since a young kid. The reasons why a lot of men, let's say, travel to Asia. The reason that a lot of men travel to Asia is because they don't need to learn a language. This is one of the reasons. Asia has catered to foreigners for a long time now. I've been to all four of those countries and none of their primary languages is English. It's a secondary language in the Philippines, not the primary. The primary is Tagalog, okay? But you go to the Philippines, you don't need to learn Tagalog. You don't. You can do it. You don't need to learn it. And Garrett, you can even go in the province and not need to learn it. You can go in a place where you could be the first foreigner there and you don't need to learn Tagalog. You go to Thailand, their primary language is Thai. Damn near everybody knows English. And even it seems like Russian and Chinese too. So you don't need you can get by, even if they speak broken English, that's enough for you to still get by, order your food, order a taxi, do basic things. And especially, I'm pretty sure if you're trying to buy something like a building or an apartment, the English won't be a problem. Yeah, you'll be fine. So there's not much of a language barrier, especially if you're single and you want to date. Most of the women here know English, just about most of them in these big cities of Thailand. And in Cambodia, they accept the US dollar in Cambodia, so those two go together. In Vietnam, they know English. In Thailand, they know more English than they do in Vietnam, but it's still enough for you to get by. I could still live there just fine. And like I already stated about the Philippines too. Dating in Asia is on easy mode, okay? It's on easy mode. You do not need to have any level of self-improvement before you come date in Asia, except for your finances. Disagree? You probably haven't been to Asia. You probably haven't been to Asia. Disagree? You probably have not been to Asia. As long as you have your finances together, I can guarantee you there's somebody out here for you, if not 50. Okay, I've seen from white, black, all races of men come to multiple Asian countries. 400 pounds, 300 pounds. You know, hair isn't cut, beard isn't cut. Somebody that looks like they're still living in 1951. You know, there's no, you do not need to have any level of self-improvement, because from my understanding, in Asian countries, as I stated before, is a place for older men to get younger women. And I'm talking about the huge age gap, a 50-year-old and an 18-year-old, something like that. That is because that hypergamy, that is like true in this part of the world. In the Western area, North America, I've lived in South America, hypergamy is everywhere. But in a place like Brazil, women, yes, every woman wants you to have finances. But in Brazil, they have more, they're not, that hypergamy is not the same. So they still can size you up and be like, oh, you know, I don't like him because he's out of shape. It's not like how it is in the States where you're getting, they got so many filters on a man, they have zero options, but it's still there. Like, they still want you to be physically attractive, you know, be with some sort of personality, versus the dudes that say they come to Asia like, oh, you know, I'm 75 years old and I want an 18-year-old. And I say, well, what are y'all going to talk about? She don't need to talk. Well, yeah, I mean, I can see that. If you come to this part of the world, maybe that's true. And I'm not being biased. I'm not shaming nobody. I'm just telling it like it is. I'm just telling you what I see with my own eyes. Do what you want. I don't care. But I'm just telling you, for American men, if you like what I'm saying, this is probably the place for you to travel to. I'm not naming a specific country that I see more of older men with younger women. I'm just saying Asia in general, from the 4 countries I've been to. That's probably your best bet if you're some older guy that likes to date women my age. I mean, hey, do what you want. I really don't care. There's billions of women on the planet. But Asia's safer. Asia is absolutely safe. Like I said earlier, you can walk around, go to the ATM, 2 o'clock in the morning, no problem. Nothing is wrong. Pretty much your chances of getting robbed in Thailand or in the big cities are 0. If you get robbed, it's probably by another foreigner. Philippines, you can get robbed there, but it's highly unlikely. Vietnam is highly unlikely. Guys, when I got to Vietnam, my Airbnb host didn't let me in at the time. It wasn't her fault, but she didn't let me in. And I had 2 suitcases, a barber case, and my backpack with my tech in it. At pitch black night, rats and shit running around, and people was riding by their motorcycles. I actually had a guy come help me, call around, found an apartment, had a taxi come pick me up, help me put my stuff in there, and that's the kind of vibe that was in Vietnam. Cambodia seemed dangerous at nighttime, but from what I've seen, I didn't feel like I would get kidnapped or robbed or anything like that. So, but I'm not gonna put it past Cambodia because they did have some issues. But yeah, just be careful if you go over there. Another reason people like to come to, and the reason that people come to Asia because of the safety is because, yes, South America, there's drug cartels, there's high crime, kidnappings, there's all that kind of stuff, right? But if you want to be honest, if you haven't been there, you probably don't know what you're talking about. All of those crimes are usually targeted in one area of the city or in the poor areas of the city. For example, when I was living in Salvador had, I think it was like one of the worst crime rates in all of Latin America. I think it was like number 3 out of all cities or something like that. Salvador, Bahia, Brazil. Never once did I get close to getting robbed or shot or anything, kidnapped, anything like that. Because I stayed in the zones that were not favelas. I stayed in the safe zones that were favelas. I walked around Baja in Salvador at 3, 4 o'clock in the morning by myself. There was dope fiends running around, but I didn't have I had more of a feeling that, hey, maybe somebody will be on drugs. They might try to attack me, more so than me, oh, somebody's going to try to rob or kidnap me or just shoot at me for no reason. So there's a lot of propaganda going on. And as the people that say that these countries are super dangerous, I'm not saying, like I said, the crime is there. But I've been to the favelas. I've been to Perolino, which Fred used to always tell me is real dangerous. Be careful with your phone. And you can sense that when you're there. But I never had anybody tap on my pocket to try to take my watch off my wrist. I was able to use my camera there just fine. Not the whole time, but enough. But it's all about, I mean, basically what I'm saying is, do you look like a sucker? Because if you look like a sucker, I can guarantee you somebody in South America gonna get you. Anybody can get got, but in South America, yes, you can get got for sure. Now back to the price. It's cheaper, a lot cheaper to live in a place like Thailand, right? My rent in Salvador Bahia, I had a 1-bedroom apartment in Rio Vermelho. I could hear the beach, smell the beach, and see the beach. I could smell the water, yes. I had a maid that cleaned up every single day, except for Sundays. I had a washer unit downstairs where they washed and folded your clothes. All that was $550 a month. And I was literally walking distance. I could walk in maybe 20 seconds and be at a 24-hour, basically, strip of restaurants. Open 24 hours. Any time of day, I never had to buy groceries. I bought groceries a few times, but I never had to buy groceries. For what? It was more expensive than Thailand, but I never had to. Anyway, that was $550 US. I could have gotten that same thing here in Thailand. I don't know about on the beach where I can hear and smell the beach, but I have a homeboy that has a 2-story penthouse and he pays $275 a month. So he doesn't have a maid, but I'm pretty sure if he added an extra $200 on that, he could probably be by the beach and have a maid. That's only $475, which is a little cheaper, but that's in Pattaya. You know, if you move out into there's another city next door to Pattaya that's like maybe 30 or 45 minutes away. It's cheaper when you get over there, I heard. But hey, overall, Asia is cheaper. You can eat off of $6 worth of groceries a week and fill the refrigerator up if you shop at the right places that are basically outdoor markets. In Brazil, I don't see that happening. Maybe the outdoor markets there might run you up to about $20, $30 a week. I don't know. I never did too much grocery shopping, but when I did go grocery shopping, I filled up my refrigerator for a week full of groceries. I spent $60. And actually, I was probably a little longer, probably like 10 days worth of groceries. But it's cheaper in Asia. That's probably another reason why dudes come over here. Another thing, they have adopted Western music, language, and dances completely. And in specific with this one, Thailand, right? They play more American music in Thailand than they do in America. In the big cities, in the 4 big cities. Even in Chiang Mai, I heard it. When I was living in Texas, when I walked down the street downtown or down Deep Ellum during the daytime, there wasn't as much of our music playing, even on a Saturday. If it was, the door was closed. But they have the speakers outside, and they're not playing Thai music. They're playing Cardi B. They're playing drill music in the clubs. And I don't know about you guys, whenever I travel to get a culture shock. Not to be reminded of home. And don't give me that bullshit of, oh no, that shouldn't remind you. It's American music. It's going to remind you of home. But how they adopted the language. They say things like, hey bro, that's fine, right? That's fine. But it's gotten to a point where now some of the Thai women will call you the N-word. They'll call you, I've seen it. They've called you the N-word. And hey, I don't get my head up my ass about that. But it's just an observation. I've noticed that, wow, compared to being in South America, they may say preto, right, in Portuguese, which that may be their way of saying that. But that's not English. You know, at least if you're going to say that, say it in another language so I can feel like I'm outside of the country, you know. And also they've adapted Western dances completely. They don't do African twerks. They don't do Brazilian samba. They do American twerking. The twerking that gets you put out of a restaurant in Dallas. Like, they twerk like that. Middle fingers in the sky. Pretending like, you know, what's a dance called where they pretend like they're driving a car and then the steering wheel gets locked, whatever that is. They do all of our American dances. And we can't say, oh, well, America has influence on the world. I did not see that when I was in Brazil. I did not see that when I was in Colombia. They had their own dances. And one thing that I wish I would see more in Thailand, maybe I need to get out and go to that smaller city. Maybe I need to get out and go to that smaller city that we're talking about. Because I know there's some smart ass listening right now telling you got to get out of the city. Yes, I know that. Maybe I need to get out to the smaller city, and maybe I'll see some Thai dance. Because to this day, I don't know any Thai. I want to see Thai culture. I want to see, what do y'all do? I don't want to hear Cardi B. I don't want to hear about, you know, a bad bitch right now. I want to get away from bad bitches. boss bitches. I'm sorry. I want to get away from boss bitches. I want to hear about Thai women. But yeah, let me know what you guys think. Let me know how accurate you thought I was about that. Should be spot on. I know I may have offended some people by saying that, you know, dating in Asia is on easy mode. I mean, if you look around you, a lot of dudes in Asia have not put in any self-improvement. A lot of dudes in Asia have not put on any self-improvement at all. And I actually had a comment when I was in Brazil, and I said, hey, in order for you to win in Brazil, you need to get in shape, you need to keep your hair cut. I was giving the people the rundown. And somebody was like, oh, this must only apply to South America because I've seen a lot of dusties. And this is a guy I know. I've seen a lot of dusties basically get beautiful women in Asia. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. That's true. There's guys that, hey, in the States, in Brazil, the quality of woman that they have would never look their way. But in Asia, that seems to be possible. So let me know what y'all think. And that's all right. That's all right. Do what y'all want. But I'm just here to give people an overview and share my experience. I'm not putting anybody down. I'm not saying one is better than the other. I'm just telling you what I see so people can know. Leave a like if you like that. Comment what you think. Disagree, agree. Like, dislike the video. Subscribe if you have not already. Let me know what you think about this format. Share this video with somebody that needs to hear it. I love y'all. My Cash App is $Auston Holleman. PayPal, austonholleman@gmail. I will see y'all in the next video. Because it's that bad. And I want to throw this in there too. Guys, you can come to Asia as is. I'm not making this up. This is what I see. You can come to Asia as is. There's slops down here that seem to be doing better than me. Slops doing better than me.